They know the money is coming to go. So what?
What's going on? I got my boy First Broadcast in the building. Welcome to Tony Television. I appreciate you showing up, my brother.
No doubt, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, we're going to get straight into it, man. We're going to talk about some things that happened back in 2022 and some things that are happening now in the new year. We're going to dive straight into it, and I want to ask you, Kanye West was dropped by Adidas, label anti-Semitic. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's America, right? With freedom of speech, we should be free to think and say whatever we want. Whether he mean it or not, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know him personally, but again, that's what we all in America for. That freedom of speech, ain't it?
Very true. Now, would you vote for him as president in 2024?
President of Warner Brothers Music or
President of the United States?
I like to keep my political views to myself.
Nice. Well, in 2022, we had a tragedy. Takeoff was killed in Houston. Very young rapper, 28 years old. Did he have any impact on you coming up as a rapper yourself?
First thing first, you gotta say, rest in peace, Takeoff, and my condolences to the whole, Quality Control, Migos family, everybody over there. Second, Takeoff, how could you say you're a rapper or any type of musician making hip hop music in this day and age and not be a fan of the Migos or not been inspired or influenced by them? So I had to say 100%. Takeoff influenced the flows, some of the swag, everything. The Migos is part of the culture. They are the culture, I would say.
Okay. Now, what about Elon Musk? He purchased Twitter for, I believe, like $43 billion. Like, does that matter to you? If so, explain.
I mean, all right, so Elon is a special person, like a special character. The things he accomplished as a human, we have to, as humans, just like recognize, right? That's the first. Second, I would say him purchasing Twitter doesn't change me or anything I'm doing on a day-to-day basis at all because I barely use Twitter. Sorry, Twitter.
Okay, that's a fair. Well, recently, the whole world just watched Tory Lanez get convicted. All 3 charges of shooting Megan Thee Stallion, possessing the gun, and everything else. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think about that?
Oh boy, damn. This one in particular is a weird situation because like now that you said that and the verdict is out, weeks later we're getting the background calls on all the extra stuff, so it's kind of like making it foggy or like muddy, hard to choose like what's true or what's not. I think that I don't know, I hardly ever think the court do justice. But in this situation, it's hard to pit a black man against a strong black female as well. A strong black male, strong black female. I don't want to be in the middle of that one.
That's very fair. Well, what about some information that everyone's talking about like right now is wildfire on the internet? Gunna, he admitted that YSL is a gang. YSL committed criminal acts to further the gang's name, and he denounces YSL, etc. My question for you is just, is that considered snitching?
He did that?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Is that considered snitching?
I mean, to me, it's in the eye of the beholder. It depends on what part of life you take part of. Some people is civilians, some people is in the streets, some people do business. Like at the end of the day, it depends on what part of the life you in. Me, I don't take part in any of these lives except for my own. So.
Well, do you think the youth will accept him back when he starts to put out new music?
I hate to be the one that say this, but the youth don't know nothing about the streets, so why would they care about what he did outside? All they care about is what he did on the studio and what he's gonna do on that stage.
Great answer. Great answer. Now, moving on. Cardi B's been talking about removing her butt implants, okay? She says that most women suffer from BBLs. Now, do you particularly like women with BBLs? Do you have anything against it? Would you date one? What's your thoughts on that?
Shoot, I know I'm in the interview. Well, let me ask you. You ever had the real thing and the fake thing?
I don't think I've ever had the fake thing.
All right, so then from one man to another, you know what I mean? The clap back is where it's at. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Hey, look, the best of both worlds. I done had it all. But fairly, I just like to say, I appreciate what God gave you. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, Drake and 21 Savage, they put out an album together this year called Her Loss. I'm pretty sure you probably took at least a skim through it. What did you think about that album?
First playthrough, I was like, oh man, it's a decent playlist. Just something to listen to as Drake, can't turn it off, you know what I mean? And 21, obviously, can't turn him off either. But as the time grew, as time went on and the album grew on me, I realized like it's actually a good body of work as far as a collaborative project. You know, I think that people want it to be bigger than what it was because they want to compare it to What a Time to Be Alive. As far as like a collaborative project with Drake, like how big that project was to, or like to the industry or to the culture. I think that Her Loss is equally as influential as What a Time to Be Alive is just 10 years later. Like things gotta advance, like music has to evolve.
Great. So it was a great album in your eyes.
Well, yeah, it was a great album.
Okay. Well, moving on. Recently, what's been making wildfire on the internet, Akon says that African American or African performers are better than African American performers. You care to elaborate on that at all?
As far as what bro's saying, I can't, tell you what he's thinking, but as far as my interpretation of it, I think that he in a sense, when you're dealing with an African artist, let's just think about the resources they have compared to the African American artists. You know, we have like problems with our Wi-Fi. Like if we can't get on the fucking internet, it's a problem. They got a problem. They got other problems. So I think they do work harder. As far as better performers, it all comes down to who wanted the most. There's American artists that want it just as bad as the African artists. It comes down to who wanted the most.
I totally agree with that. Now, T.I. recently went on his podcast Expeditiously and explained how he snitched on his dead cousin. What do you think about that?
What you know about that? I don't know, goddamn. Nah, T.I., man, he's a legend. Like I said, at the end of the day, people live different lifestyles. What he did outside don't have nothing to do with what he doing in the studio. People, you ain't gonna turn down a Rubber Band Man, you know what I mean, just because he told on somebody that passed away. Now, me personally, I wouldn't do it. But again, it just depends on what lifestyle you choosing when you coming up.
Okay. Now, Deion Sanders was recently called the sellout for leaving Jackson State and going to Colorado. What do you think about that? Is that accurate, or is it just internet people being mad?
It's prime time, baby. Point blank, period. At the end of the day, you got Deion Sanders at the Jackson State coaching his son, and he bringing all the eyes to Jackson State. I never watched a Jackson State football game prior to Deion Sanders being there. Just being honest. So him going to Colorado, I wouldn't say it's a sellout. I think he's going where the bag at. He's trying to get to a bag as far as the coaching status goes.
You know what's funny is I never watched the Jackson State game until he became coach, and I think there's quite a few people that can agree with that right there. Now, moving on. Recently, Romeo went on Twitter to kind of shame his dad, Master P. Was that a good thing? Was it a bad thing? What are your thoughts on that?
First thing first, I don't think you should go public with nothing about your family. Like, I don't care if y'all got the worst fallout in the world. That's your father, you his son. That could have been, it could have been any family member. You never go public with your family, what's going on in the house. It's just like you leave work at work and you keep home at home. And that's just what I believe.
I agree. Now, since the last time we spoke, there's been, this one guy, Charleston White, been making flames on the internet. He recently, like last year, he maced Soulja Boy. What do you think about Charleston White overall?
First, y'all better leave that nigga alone. I mean, obviously, you see how he playing. You know what I mean? You see how he playing, period. You know what I mean? Leave him alone. That's all he want. He don't want no problems. He just gonna talk his shit. Let him talk his shit. It's the same thing to me as like the Kanye shit. Let the man talk his shit. I don't care.
Very true. Okay. Now, moving on to 2023, I want to say the first rapper to pass in 2023. Rest in peace to Gangsta Boo. Gangsta Boo just passed January 1st, 2023. Now, the story is this, okay? Because I've been doing a lot of research on it. The story is they were all partying, of course, January 1st, New Year's, and her brother ended up taking something earlier that day and overdosing. And they all were there, so they were able to catch him. Whether they brought him to the hospital or not, I don't know, but he stayed alive, right? And then later that night, she overdoses and no one's around.
On the same shit?
That's the big question. Everyone's saying, obviously, her brother must know where it came from because he overdosed earlier. And if it's his sister, more than likely, she had the same batch. But she just passed, and she was a female legend in the South. What do you think about that?
Well, first, rest in peace to Gangsta Boo. You know, condolences after 3-6, obviously. You know what I mean? Just respectfully. I think that we gotta, just as a community, bro, we gotta stop fucking with the drugs. Like, as a community, we gotta stop promoting that shit. I mean, like, we done lost, like you just said, Gangsta Boo, we just lost the young nigga from Memphis as well, you know, Scar, supposed overdose. I don't want to speak on it, I'm not sure, that's what they saying. I guess we'll figure out in the toxicology. But we gotta stop, we gotta put that shit down, for sure.
Totally agreed. Today reports came out, a video showing, I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but finesse 2 times in Memphis, Tennessee. Altercation occurs, gunshots are exchanged, and, you know, he's on federal probation. The question is it really that dangerous to be a rapper nowadays?
I hope that's not true, because that's highly unfortunate. Bro just got out.
Well, I saw the footage, and it is true that gunshots were exchanged at his event. You could see him in the middle, you know, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. Bro just got out, and he's, like, on the top of the world right now. Like, as soon as he got out, hit the top of the world. So that's unfortunate. I mean, I think it is dangerous being an artist in general of any sort. You could paint pictures, and it could be dangerous for you. But, again, it's all about what lifestyle you choose to lead. You know what I mean? You don't see niggas running down on J. Cole in NY while he riding his damn bike. You know what I mean? Of course the nigga gonna run down the nigga in the Bentley in the gas station. Wouldn't you? Like, I mean, realistically, if you choosing that life, that's what the hell come with it, period. If you rapping about, you know what I mean? People gonna want to talk about it. I mean, I don't think that's what happened there, but I mean, at the end of the day, and if you rapping about it, you gotta stand on it as a man.
I agree. It's all about what you put out there. Now, getting into you, okay, as we close it out a little bit. Now, what new projects can we expect from you in 2023, and where can people find your new projects?
So first thing first, 2023, man, we made it here. I just want to say that. Second, I thank all the people that came here and stuck with me all the way to here. 23, we coming in with new energy. All new production team. I can't give you a date on the project just because I don't want to, you know, get people too hyped up and then I'll be like, oh, give me one more week, you know? I'm a perfectionist when it comes to that type of stuff. But as far as the music, just expect something that's transitioning the culture from what you're used to.
And what is your social media?
Social media is first broadcast on everything, as well as HEIR4L, HEIR4L, on all platforms.
And when will your first single and first video drop for the year?
First video coming out January 14th, Dirty, produced by Q Sheets. I'm excited to get that to y'all. I can't wait, honestly.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I would like to give a shout out to the whole More Than Music team, man. They've been holding it down, doing what it does over here. I just want to say, you know, HEIR4L, baby.
Tony Television, my man First Broadcast, HEIR4L, we out.
Stand on top like I'm King Kong. Paddle niggas like a ping pong. Run my block like I'm King Vaughn.